Back to the phones we go at 8888 Ask Leo. Line 4, Marcus in, I don't know how to say this. Marcus, is it Wenatchee?
Wenatchee. It's an Indian name.
Wenatchee, Washington. Well, nice to talk to you.
Indeed it is. You too. So, I know my way around the hardware of a computer really well, but I just realized that a while ago that I don't know any software. So I'd like to start becoming a little bit more software savvy. I'd like to start coding.
Oh, good.
I was wondering if you could recommend a language and maybe some resources to help me get started with that language.
So the default answer to this, which is, I'm going to give you the default answer. It's not actually my answer, but I'm going to give you the default answer, and it's not a bad answer, is you should go to something like, there are many of these, Code Academy at code.org, and learn Python. That's the short answer that probably is what almost everybody is doing. I'm going to give you now what I would say is actually the better answer, but remember, I'm a cranky old man. So the hip kids are going to say, oh, learn Python or maybe JavaScript. JavaScript might even be more useful. It's harder to learn. And if you learn, by the way, the first language is the hardest. After you learn one language, it's easier because the concepts of any computer language are fairly similar. If you wanted to write apps for the iPhone, you might be better off learning something like Swift, but that's only for the iPhone pretty much. If you wanted to write apps for Android, Java, not JavaScript, they're two different languages despite the similarity in names, Java, or its more modern version, Kotlin, Kotlin, would be better if you wanted to learn how to write for the phone. But I would suggest, my cranky old man interpretation is, it's a mistake to say, I want to program a computer. That will come in time, but really, teaching somebody how to program a computer is missing the boat. What you really need to do is teach somebody how to think about a problem and how to solve a problem. You want to have a language that will help you understand how to think about problems and how to solve problems. And then you can apply, that's at a higher level, that kind of problem solving to any language. The language is easy. You can learn most languages in a day or two. The language is not hard. What's hard, and you'll spend a lot of time learning kind of the ins and outs of the language, how to edit it, how to set it up, how to install it. All this stuff is not really teaching you the fundamental skill you need, which is problem solving. How to think. Computer scientists use the word algorithms to describe the steps you use to solve a computer problem. Thinking algorithmically is what you want to learn. So now I'm going to give you this is really ridiculous, and people yell at me every time I say this, but there's a free book out there called How to Design Programs. It teaches you how to think algorithmically. And it's free. You can get it for free. It was used for years to teach new freshmen how to program at Rice and other universities. That it goes with a language called Racket. And you can download Racket from racketlang.org, Dr. Racket. And the nice thing about that, you install it. It works on Linux, Mac, Windows. You install it. You don't have to spend a lot of time figuring out the tooling, figuring out how to do programs or anything like that. It's very straightforward. It's everything you need an editor, what we call a REPL, which makes it easy to write and try different statements. And then with How to Design Programs and Dr. Racket, it'll take you about 6 months. It took me about 3 years, but it'll take you about 6 months to go through it. Learn it, and then go to code.org. You will be so far ahead because you'll know how to design programs, how to think algorithmically, how to solve problems. And even if you never write code professionally, it will have taught you a skill that is valuable in every discipline, how to think logically. So that's how I prefer you do it. So there's your choices. Pythoncode.org. Easy peasy, 6 weeks. You can get it. You can probably get a job even because there's such a demand for programmers. Or do it right. Start with How to Design Programs, htdp.org. That's the book, and they'll explain how to get Dr. Racket. And you install Dr. Racket. By the time you get through that, you will be a better programmer than 90% of the people working as a programmer. Okay? Okay,
fantastic. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I've got time on my hands, so I'll go with the second option.
It's a great thing to do. I took a course. If you, it depends how you like to learn. Some people can learn from a book, but I took a course that was free at edx.org There's two stages to it. It's from the University of British Columbia. The professor, Gregor Kozales, is a legend in this field. And his How to Code series, there's two simple data and complex data. How to Code is free, online, and you can get a grade. You can even get a certificate if you pay for it. And that's the same thing. It's HTTP, Dr. Racket, but it's a professor with video lectures and tests. So if you like to work that way, kind of like you're going back to school, that's another way to do it. edx.org for that one. We'll put this all in the show notes because I know I went fast and it's hard to write all that down, but we'll put links at techguylabs.com. This is my favorite way to learn. And then after that, well, I'll wait till you get through that. And after that, there's structure and interpretation of computer programming. There's scheme. If you learn how to think, that's so much, how to think about problems and solve them. That's so much more important than how to write a Python statement. That doesn't do anything. First, learn how to think about the problem, and then you can start coding. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, our photo guy, Chris Marquardt, coming up in just a little bit. Let's take a little tiny time out and get back with more of your calls right after this.